On this episode, we continue to answer some more listener questions in our 5th installment of the Main Street Magic Q&A. Today is November 9th, 2021. This is episode 407 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and I'm joined by this lady, Rhonda.
What? Hey, guys.
I only say that because she was making faces at me while I was trying to do the original intro. So make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, you should go out to Facebook, search for the Main Street Magic community, and ask to join. The community continues to grow, and everybody in it is so wonderful. So when you need answers, they've got them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hit that subscribe button, you're going to get brand new episodes of Main Street Magic every Tuesday and Friday. But if you want more content, and we've got a lot coming up, this includes in-park, resort, at-home live streams, discounts on Main Street Magic merchandise, which you can find at mainstreetshirts.com, and a whole lot more. Please check out our Patreon group. You can read all about it, what you get if you join, and you can find that at wonderlandcrew.com. If you get ready to plan your next Disney or Universal vacation, maybe looking to go on a cruise, or pretty much travel anywhere in the world that will currently allow you to visit, head to msmears.com, learn more about our wonderful travel partner, Melissa Pilgrim, with years of experience, and you can fill out a form for a free quote. If you did not listen to last Friday's episode, you won't be lost in this episode because these are whole new questions.
Yeah.
But I do recommend you go back and listen to it. This is another installment of these listener questions. We do these a couple times throughout the year because honestly, they're just a lot of fun. And anytime we can get listeners involved, we want to make sure that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love these episodes more than anything, honestly. These are some of my favorites.
Oh, good.
Well, and I like we kind of browse through the questions, but you're almost put on the spot a little bit, which I enjoy.
Yeah.
So you ready to just get right back into them, Rhonda?
Sure.
All right.
Let's
First
do it.
one from Melissa says, I was very excited to hear you guys mention you booked a Disney cruise on your 400th episode. I've been wanting you guys to do a review of one. Which ship are you cruising on? Why don't you let them know the ship, when we're doing it, and kind of what you're looking forward to the most?
Melissa, we are going on the Disney Wish.
Oh.
So excited. We are going September. I don't have my calendar.
Somewhere, I think it's mid to later September.
Okay.
I can't remember, like 20-something-ish.
Yeah, it's only a 3-night, supposedly 4-day, but really it's 3-night, 3-day.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are going with our really good friends Lucy and Caleb, and we are actually going to be suite mates. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, I mean, they're two different rooms, but we did get adjoining rooms or adjacent rooms. I don't know that a door connects them or anything, but
I think it does.
they'll be next door.
Yes, and
hopefully we can high five from our veranda.
I just started to say we will have a balcony, and I do believe that we can have our Main Street Magics out there.
Yes,
Drinks and hang out and be just chilling. The four of us / if Kaylin or Lacey want to hang around us, but they'll be so busy to do stuff.
I think they will.
Melissa, this is our first one. We've been on cruises before. We didn't love them, but I've heard that there's nothing like a Disney cruise. So I am overly beyond excited for this. I'm trying not to get too excited / I don't want the year just to fly by.
I know.
I'm sure it will anyways, but yeah. And so we're going in September 2022. I think I'm most excited for everything. I hate to say it this way, but I have a client that just went on a cruise, not Disney, but on a cruise. And I hope that it's very like prior to COVID, just with a lot of like. Yeah,
I mean, I think things will be by September of 2022. I think they'll be as normal as they're going to get again.
I hope we don't have to wear masks inside.
Right. I don't see that. And they are requiring, proof of vaccination and some negative tests and things like that. I'm so excited because I've always wanted to do a Disney cruise, even though the one cruise we did do, I loathed. I absolutely hated it, but it was a small ship.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great experience. I know this is going to be just wonderful.
Yes.
But it's hard to not already be worried that there's not enough time.
Oh,
know what
I've
I mean?
said
Like,
I'm probably not going to sleep. I'm going to have to take power naps.
yeah. And we even, we'll end up game planning with Lucy and Caleb because we really want to bring you every little
Yes.
detail
Yep.
and corner of this ship in the review. So we may have to split up sometimes and like
Mhm.
do some separate dining or whatever. But, we sat the other night and the commercials kept playing when we were watching football last
Yes.
night for the
Yep.
Wish. And, I think it's starting to become a bit more of a reality as it gets closer and closer. And then my only other fear is that we're going to be on that ship and know that we have to book another one, which is going to be
Yep.
tough, and maybe, eventually make our way around all the ships. I would be interested. We're starting, not that all of Disney's cruise lines aren't absolutely top of the line, top notch, incredible,
Mhm.
but we're going into the brand new one with brand new things. I then wonder if you would go back and do just say the Dream or the Fantasy or something, if there'd be any sort of slight letdown after doing the Wish as your very first one. I don't know.
I
That's
would
going to be interesting.
think there might be, but it's not like we've done the Fantasy and all those
Right.
multiple times
Right.
before.
But if you
so
had,
it would be a different
Yeah.
experience. So yeah.
But I wouldn't. Yeah, short of, and we'll see what happens. I have a feeling we're certainly not going to be the type of people, I don't think, that cruise every year unless money starts falling out of the sky. But I do hope it's something that maybe we do every few years.
Yeah.
And I would want to do all of the ships, even though I know we're going to love the Wish so very much.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do it the next time we do a Disney cruise. I'd want to switch it up.
Oh, absolutely.
So we'll kind of see how that goes. Kelsey asked, if you could build another Disney park in a U.S. state, not California or Florida, where would you build it and why? Where are you going?
Okay, I think I'm gonna go to Colorado, and I might even kind of go up in the mountain area and do a park and do maybe like a Frozen / Christmas park.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Because most of the time is colder.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'd have all kinds of Frozen stuff. Maybe even some Christmas stuff.
Yeah. Like a year-round Christmas town or something in it. Nightmare
Yep.
Before Christmas could have its own land.
Yes.
You could have a Frozen land.
Yep.
You could have a general, I think, Mickey and Friends
Yep.
style, whatever land that's kind of playful and in the snow. You
Yes.
really couldn't have any outdoor rides, would be the only issue. So it'd be a very interesting design on a park. Maybe
Well,
it's something we do one day in depth in Theme Park Shuffle because
I started to say that would be you and
because
the
of
boys.
the weather. But even think of January in Colorado, even a ride like Alien Swirling Saucers style, your face would fall off, I feel like.
Well, you got to think too, though. A lot of this is also ski slopes and stuff. So I'm thinking also a ski.
Oh, wow. So
slope
a Disney
of-
ski resort.
Yes.
DVC, the way that they built, Alani, and we've got Vero Beach and Hilton Head. Can you imagine one in a ski town? That would be cool.
Yeah.
If Disney buys Hallmark,
Yep.
then you could have a Hallmark village within it. I think that would be cool.
What would you do?
I don't know. Honestly, I really love your idea. I think for me, I do think of year-round weather. So I think of places potentially like Texas, Arizona, some of the southern style states. I think anywhere kind of in the middle of the U.S.,
Okay.
from north to south would be good,
Right.
simply based on the availability to travel. If you're dead
Right.
center, then you got East Coast, West Coast, both bringing together
Mhm.
kind of that same thing. But I would be along for your idea. So we'll build it together.
Okay. You're gonna theme park shuffle that? With
Yeah,
the
I think we
boys?
would. I think we might actually. I might put that out there on the list. Denise, hello, Denise, lovely Denise. Do you have any thoughts on why we are still only getting the shorter, revised version of Festival of the Lion King? I know that it's still a great show, but I need those tumbling monkeys and the beautiful bird to fly. Any thoughts? I think they're going to potentially be coming back soon. Starting here very soon, backstage cast members who are backstage indoors will be allowed to go unmasked. So I think that's the first step. I think the reason they're still not doing it, even though the cast members had to get vaccinated and all of that, they're still trying to protect from those close contact quarters. And you don't want you don't want the tumble monkeys all still getting COVID, even if they are vaccinated, because it still could put them out. And then all
Correct.
of a sudden, they're still very short staffed in many areas. I don't know how many tumble monkeys there are, and what the
Right.
schedule is, but I still think there's a lot of that. I think Disney has, done a wonderful job of slowly easing in. I don't know if they'll be back by the end of the year, but I really bet they'll be back by beginning of 2022. It would
if
not shock
anybody
me.
wants to hear my opinion, here's my opinion.
I would love to hear
Denise.
your opinion.
Because they just rolled out children from 5 to 11 allowed to be vaccinated, I think Disney gives it a couple of more months, maybe the beginning of the new year,
Yeah.
January, February-ish, and they will start bringing everything back, because that means that everybody has been given the opportunity to be vaccinated, and then they're just going to move forward.
I agree with you completely on that, and I think that's a major step too. And you're right on point with that. Sharon asks, which of the 4 Disney parks is your favorite? Said hers keeps changing. What is currently your favorite park?
I feel like I'm torn. I feel like it's Hollywood. I don't know why, but I just do.
Yeah.
So
I've always said Animal Kingdom because I really do love it, but we haven't been in so long. I feel like, and we've spent so much time lately between Hollywood and Epcot. The Skyliner is just an absolute game changer for us. I don't know. I've really been loving the World Showcase lately and just hanging out and taking it slow.
Yeah, I do enjoy Epcot.
But and as the front of Epcot starts to come along,
yes.
now that the whole Remy Pavilion is finished and open, as that Moana water feature eventually comes to life, and Guardians finally opens, and we got Space 220, and the fountain out front, and now Creation Shop. I think right now for me it's Hollywood Studios. I think within the next 6 months it's going to shift to Epcot.
Yeah, I can see that.
Nothing ever beats the magic of Magic Kingdom.
Right.
And I think nothing ever beats to me the feeling of Animal Kingdom. I still think for me it's my favorite theme park to just stand in and just get this sense of being somewhere different.
Animal Kingdom?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think I'd go with you with Hollywood for that one. And we tend to do a lot more rides when we are at Hollywood Studios, to be honest, than we do any of the other parks. So, all right, Stephanie asks, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to be the one, and I apologize, Josh Hart, if you still listen, but Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie. I think it's unbelievably good from beginning to end, and I love it. How about you?
I don't know. I mean, that's a lot. I'm gonna probably go with, again, unfortunately, more recent.
Yeah.
With Rey and all that. So what would that be? Which one would that be called?
Yeah, I mean, for me, out of the last trilogy, The Force Awakens, I think, is a really good one.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, Last Jedi was Last Jedi. I know that there's very differing opinions on that one. And Rise of Skywalker, for me personally, it just didn't do it in the end. We've only seen it once. We saw it in the theater opening day. We haven't even watched it again. We probably should, but it just didn't do it for me. I honestly, as much as the original 3 are great, I didn't grow up with the nostalgia of them, even though it's kind of our generation. I just didn't watch them a lot.
What's actually funny is I actually love, and people are probably going to yell at me, but I actually love the 3 with Anakin.
Oh gosh.
And,
yeah. All the prequels.
Yeah. What is those Hayden Christensen.
Yeah. Yep.
And then
Yeah. Natalie Portman.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah. That is definitely,
I loved them.
rare
And I don't know
opinion.
if it was because it was my generation, because
Yeah, it's true.
I'm,
That's true.
I'm
We're kind of
that
in between those
age.
two,
Yep.
I feel like. Between the original trilogy, the secondary trilogy,
Yep.
and then, of course, now the third one is what our kids will grow up with.
Yep.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Force Awakens. I love the original 3, but Rogue One is such a good movie. And, I mean, the ending scenes and battles, like of them running along the beach and through, I mean, they took 2 things that I was never that big a fan of. I've never been a big fan of war movies, and I've never been a huge fan of, really, I mean, until we started going to Disney a lot, Star Wars or sci-fi.
right.
They took sci-fi and a war movie and mashed them up and just blew my mind. I want to watch that again, actually,
Okay.
pretty soon. All right, then we've got, we're going to finish off actually with several questions from Jackie. So Jackie, thank you so much for your questions. We got some good ones here. She says, if you have to live in one land for a month, all right, so think about, you could only eat that food.
Oh my goodness.
You can only use those bathrooms. You can only experience those attractions. What land would you pick and where would you sleep? She said, World Showcase is not a land for this hypothetical. All right, so think of individual lands within each of the parks. Especially food wise is the hardest, because I'm thinking of like, what would be one I wouldn't get? I would live in Pandora.
Okay.
You remember when they did that special like contest where they actually set up a tent, and like glamping tent in Pandora?
They did?
Yeah,
I don't
somebody
remember.
won and got to sleep in overnight.
That's cool.
That's what I would do. I think.
And that's where you'd sleep?
Yep, I would sleep in a tent like that. I can ride Flight of Passage over and over. And honestly, I
For a month in that land.
yeah, I think so. The problem is it's so small. But
What's
all right, Satellite Canteen though.
Yeah.
I feel like
You have options.
you have so many options when you mix and match the bases and the sauces and the proteins and all. But then that's your only option. It's either that or you're eating, cream cheese pongu lumpia every morning.
Ew.
Well, yeah, this is a really tough one.
This is a good one.
What about Galaxy's? Well, Galaxy's Edge. You've got Docking Bay 7, which has absolutely wonderful food. You've got some other like smaller snack options. You've got Rise of the Resistance. I'm not riding Smuggler's Run every day, but I feel like it's a bit more of a vast land.
What?
This
All
is
right.
a really
so I'm
good
thinking.
thought-provoking
I'm
question.
actually thinking Magic Kingdom,
Okay.
and I'm thinking, what is the land? And then and correct me if I'm multiple lands, but right there by the Tangled bathrooms,
Yeah,
by
that'd be
Haunted
all-
Mansion.
well, Haunted Mansion moves into Liberty Square, so you'd have to go from Tangled Bathrooms, which would be the start of Fantasyland, all the way over to the other side before you really hit Tomorrowland. But you would have Enchanted Tales with Belle. You would be able to eat at the castle. You would have Pinocchio Village Hus you could eat at anytime you want. You got Little Mermaid, the carousel. You got the Friar's Nook there that you can eat at. You've got some meet and greet characters. Anytime you wanted to sleep, you just go lay down in a boat in Small World.
Oh no, I was thinking Belle.
Peter Pan.
I was thinking Belle's house.
Ooh.
That's where I'd sleep.
That's a good one.
So all right, I think I was gonna.
So you're gonna go with Fantasyland.
Because I'm thinking a month, and I'm thinking like, okay, what could I? And I would like to ride the Snow White one. Mine Train.
Yep.
And then, but I was really thinking more of like,
You could sleep in there with the doors. You could
That's
sleep in that
true.
little house.
yeah, but I like Belle's house better.
The bed would be real small, but you're small, so it all works out. Sleeping in the Enchanted Tales with Belle would be pretty cool.
I could eat at Beauty and the Beast Castle.
Yep.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Yes, you could.
I could eat at
Yeah, Village Hus is right there.
Village
So if
Hus.
you want to do
I
that,
could ride the carousel. Yeah, I think
that's
I'm
a
gonna.
good pick.
I think I'm gonna pick that one.
That's a really
I was
good pick.
thinking of like Haunted Mansion because I love that, but that's Liberty Square.
That'd be Liberty Square, and you've
right?
got
there's
and literally all you
the
have is
boat,
you have
and
Haunted
then-
Mansion and Hall of
but
Presidents.
I
You got the
could
boat.
sleep on the island.
Yeah, but you know where you'd have to eat a lot of your meals? Columbia Harbor House.
Ah.
Womp womp.
Okay, I don't mind it, but yeah, I'm gonna pick Fantasyland.
That's a really, really good pick.
Thanks.
I think I would. I think I would still stick with Pandora. Like in my mind right now, I'm thinking of now again in
A
this
month, 1 month.
Yeah. What happens if we try and leave? They're like just security guards with tasers.
I don't know.
Just take you to the ground. My only issue is that land is so small.
Right, my land is a good land.
Do we have to work? Do we have to work during this portion? Because then I'm like, what do we
Shouldn't
do all
say.
day? But
Eat
just
and ride
but
rides.
think of waking up in the morning and coming out of like a glamping, beautiful tent. Like this was not your mama's tent. And in this scenario, for me at least, since I'm just going way off track and creating my own sleeping structure, it would have a little like balcony that that's kind of
balcony?
like a little balcony. It could fit 2 people. You can come hang out with me, and it kind of sits a little bit over that creek that runs through as you look up at the floating mountains and enjoy your coffee in the morning. You enjoy a cocktail at night. Make yourself a little Main Street Magic cocktail at night. Oh, Only other problem is then you've got like thousands of people just coming through your land all day. Or could we get rid of them? Like, and if I'm not allowed to build this tent thing, which I have a feeling I can't. See, that's a good. I would sleep inside of Navi River Journey. I would have like a nice, maybe I can blow up a little air mattress and like it'd be like sleeping in the woods.
Okay.
So that's what I would do as the shaman.
I started to say
lullabies me to sleep every night. All right, her next question: which 2 World Showcase pavilions do you love the least, and why? No, she didn't add this part, but I'll say Canada and America. They do nothing. They do nothing for me.
Yeah,
I've said my piece on America before. Canada for me, I wish it had something.
Canada's just a walkthrough to me.
It is. I wish it had something more to it. What I really wish it had is a bar. I wish that it had a bar where those shops are.
Mm-hmm.
I wish instead in there as well was like a bar that was like a true Canadian bar where they're just serving Labatt's and hockey's playing 24/7, and maybe they crank the air down real low so you're a little bit, you're a little bit chilly in there. That's what I would like.
Yeah.
And then to me, I mean, again, America. I mean, I live in America for one. And I grew up, we weren't far from Philly. We used to visit a lot. We used to go to Philadelphia a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me very much of, history, and it's very historic and all, which is great. I don't know. I would do something else with that area. How about you? What are your 2 least favorite World Showcase pavilions? Canada's one of them?
Yeah, I would say Canada's one of them.
Yeah. What else would you pick? We don't do a lot in China, usually.
Yeah.
Japan has a special feel, the location.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the girls love shopping.
Yep.
And Kaylin loves Katsura. But
and
so what would you pick
Kiyomi's
as your...
in there.
Yes, and Kiyomi's in there, so we can always visit her.
Yep.
So what would you pick as your second one then, you think?
I would probably... I hate to say it. That's why I'm taking a little bit. I apologize. I think because... And people don't hate me, but I think Frozen.
Oh, really? Norway?
Norway.
That's a great point. I mean, that's another kind
I
of
love the
almost
bathrooms.
walkthrough.
But
They're
yeah,
best.
it is just a walkthrough to me. It's not like I'm stopping in, like, and that's what I was just kind of trying to go through real quick in my brain. Like, we're always going to Germany and Carmel Kushi.
Yep.
And
we're always doing the UK.
We're always doing the UK.
We're always stopping in Japan,
France,
Italy, all those. Yeah.
Yep. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with those 2.
But both of us not unfortunately big on Canada, eh?
Yeah.
All right. She said, "Hey, this is actually a perfect follow up because she said, do you have any unpopular Disney opinions?" Man, I'm trying to think. Just something maybe you'll like. What's something that most people love? Kind of, and you're just like, I don't. I mean, what's something that most people would be shocked by that maybe you don't care for? And maybe that is, not really caring for these pavilions or something. I don't know. I don't think I have a ton. Here's one. I actually don't hate the park reservation system. Honestly.
Yeah.
I'll
agree with that.
Now that capacity is up more where parks aren't selling out basically.
Right.
And there's not a fear of that. Yeah. I don't mind the reservation system at all. And if it sticks around forever, I totally get it. It's a wonderful tool for Disney.
Absolutely.
And it makes perfect sense for them. I would like to see potentially park hopping bump up some. I'd like
because it starts at 2. Yep.
Especially if you're going to Animal Kingdom and they open at 8 a.m. and you're there at 8 a.m. You could be kind of done by noon with what you want to do, and you still got to wait 2 hours to hop somewhere. So yeah, that would probably be one of my major ones, but I don't actually, I don't even know if I shared this with you. I was texting him last night, Justin, and he has a lot of hot takes,
Yeah.
And so I think, we're going to do a series of hot takes with Justin.
Oh, okay.
Where he can pick like 5 hot takes that are centered around maybe a park or resorts or something. And we'll talk to him about them, and kind of give our thoughts and whatever on it. So I think that'll be one that'll actually cover a lot more, but yeah, I don't think either you or I have these glaring, like, I hate this about Disney or I love this. Like, I'm not going to say
no,
I miss Primeval Whirl. I feel like that would be an unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
I don't miss it. Well,
Right.
Again, like I said, I think it was last episode. I miss the memories of it with our children.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yep.
miss the ride
Yep.
whatsoever. All right. And her final question says, I think you might have answered this before, but if you worked at Disney, what job would you want to have? What job would you absolutely not want to have? For me, I mean, absolutely nothing against them. I personally would not want to work in janitorial services.
I started to say I could be a trash can girl, like to
there you
take
go.
out the trash.
You're already hanging out by them
I
all the
know.
time anyway.
And I already throw
fireworks,
people's
so.
trash away,
Yeah.
and that doesn't bother me. But if I had to clean up somebody's vomit, I could not. Nope.
That was
I
mine.
couldn't do that.
Unfortunately, Lacey was sick early last week, and she stayed home and spent all her time right around me. And yeah, there were some moments that I wouldn't be able to handle it and I don't think I could do the bathroom cleaning and all.
I just started to say that too.
I get gaggy
Yeah, you do.
and queasy at the
Yep.
thought of those things.
Yep.
I mean, even sometimes when these flipping dogs will poop in our house in our bathroom, sometimes it's tough
Oh
for me
my
to pick
goodness.
up without
Now
kinda
that
like,
doesn't bother me
ugh,
as much.
type thing. So
Oh Lord.
the job I would absolutely want to do, I would love to be a guest experience manager.
Yeah.
I all along, and I mean, from the moment we met Aaron
Mhm.
now so many years ago, I mean, it's
Yep.
been like 3.5 years now. I've thought that, and to be or one of the greeters.
Yep.
I mean, any one of the greeters now. When you walk into those resorts, to think of being the first face that people see, and for the most part they're usually going to be smiling. Now, if they've been at a park all day and they've been at each other, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think any opportunity to, create magic or turn a situation around
Mm-hmm.
would be wonderful.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
I agree. I mean,
at Disney
for you.
I could handle it. I think any other job, like if somebody was going off on me on something, it'd be much harder for me to respond in a magical manner. But I think if I was working for Disney, I could do it.
Yeah.
Because I think that there are a lot of things you can do to make it better. Even if it's just like, hey, I'm so sorry for your issue. Here's, let me write out they have those little forms. Let me write out for you to go for each person in your family and get any snack you want,
Mm-hmm.
today. Or
Yeah.
here's a meal on us. Or, oh, I see you have a little one. Go let them pick out a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
Here's a ticket or something for that. Would you stick in the cosmetology hairdressing
I would,
style?
and it's so funny because Jackie didn't ask this question, but I feel like I'm just gonna kind of throw. So I would change Bippity Boppity Boutique to where it is Bippity Boppity Boutique, not for ages from 5 to 11 or whatever the age range is, but from ages maybe not 0, but from maybe 2 or 3 to 99.
Whatever you want. Sure.
And
You like Legos.
And
Like Legos.
oh yeah. And literally have where instead of like me buy a dress to wear, have an outfit for a Disney bound.
Yeah, they started that prior to COVID.
Yeah.
It was similar, but to me, one, I don't think it was well marketed, and two, it didn't have that all inclusive feel that I think you're going for, right?
Yep.
Which is bippity boppity, and that's the thing that
You go in,
but also
your hair
make
done.
it inclusive to everyone.
Yeah.
I
I mean, yeah.
want to go in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where I can go in there
And you could
and-
get
and
absolutely.
have a shave and a haircut and a Disney bound outfit.
Absolutely.
And whatever. I think that would be a really, really cool thing
Absolutely.
to do. That's a wonderful idea, Josh Diamaro. I'm going to share it with him over our dinner at
Okay.
Victoria and Albert's.
Okay.
Still waiting on that invite to come. I'm telling
Uh-huh.
you that much. That's a really, really cool idea. And because that's the thing too, when you do go into a bippity boppity boutique and I know, I know there's other options and there's options for little boys and stuff like that, but it doesn't feel that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Same thing with the adults. I mean, if you walked into bippity boppity, hey, 40-year-old mom here, can you do me up? Even though they had some opportunities for that,
Mhm.
I don't think it felt welcoming,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So that's a really, really good one. Would you ever want to be I'll let you say it. Would you ever want to be a princess?
What do you mean? Like,
I wasn't going to say you're too old for it. I figured if I threw it out there, you might say it, and then that would get me off the hook. But obviously, by the look of your face, that did not. You're obviously
I
too
am
old
too
to play
old,
a
but-
princess, Rhonda. But let's just say
That's why I want to do bippity
maybe a fairy godmother
Oh
or something.
my goodness.
That could work.
I'm not that old.
Evil queen.
Yes.
Oh,
I could do evil.
I gotta get a bigger shovel.
Uh-huh. I could do evil queen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you could do
I'm not tall enough.
You could do fairy godmother. You'd be like the young version of the the fairy godmother. It's a Gary Fodmother. I almost
You're
said.
trying, but
I am
you're
trying.
not doing very well.
Would you though have back in the day when? And this is on Disney. This isn't my decision. They're the ones who are given an age limit. If you were back in the day of the appropriate age.
Oh, I would have loved to have done that. Absolutely.
I don't know what the minimum height is for certain
depends.
princess. I think it depends on the princess.
I could have been Tinkerbell. I believe. Actually, it's not funny. It's why are you laughing? It's not funny.
Because she's a
Emma
tiny fairy.
Was looking it up.
Yeah.
And she was reading to me all the specifications of it.
Yes.
And she was reading that I could have been one.
Wow.
And I know Tinkerbell, obviously. I do not remember. I want to say Ariel, because she's.
I think
smaller.
Snow White. I think is pretty short, isn't she?
Maybe, but yeah. So yes.
You would be absolutely wonderful at it because you talk for a living.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do you talk all day at work to your clients, but then you come home and I make you talk on podcasts. But you have that personality.
Mm-hmm.
To, I think, interact with children. I mean, I remember going to the Halloween parties, and
so
you
fun.
interacting with kids because of the way that you were dressed, and they really were looking at you. So I'm like, wait, is that the real deal, or are those guests?
Mm-hmm.
And you'd smile and wave and all, and meanwhile, I'm like, what are you looking at? So I don't know if I would make a good prince, but again, too old. So no luck there.
Nope.
Well, these really are so fun. It had really been I feel like a couple months. I think the last one we did was maybe, well, it might have been September or something, but you can go back. You can search the feed for other Q&As. We'll certainly do this again in the future. And I know this is a question and answer episode that you're asking us questions. But again, if you go to the Main Street Magic community on Facebook, when you have questions, here's the best part about it. People will answer them nicely with no snark or anything. And
no matter how dumb the question.
Yes.
Because no question is ever dumb.
Yeah, there's no what's the thing? There's no stupid questions. There's only stupid answers or something like that. I don't know. Something like that. But yeah, no, seriously, come in there. It is filled with wonderful people. Everybody just wants to help, and not only here on the actual podcast, but in that community, social media. All we want to do is help people have a better vacation and understand it more. Yeah. I was just messaging actually with someone we know that lives close to here, Lauren, and they're looking at APs. And she was asking about saying, well, we're thinking of going in February and March, but I see with the annual pass, we can only have 3 park reservations. And I'm like, well, are you staying on property? She said, yeah. I said, well, then you would technically have 3, additional ones for the days that you're staying. Does that make sense? And she's like, no, it doesn't at all. And I was like, I know it doesn't. So then I had to really lay it out. Here's this, and this, and this, and this. And then she said, well, thank you for answering. And I was like, no problem. And honestly, I like a lot of the changes. And I mean, I don't have to like them again in a sense of I don't want to spend more money, but some of the changes Disney has made, I think, have been good, but boy, they're not trying to make anything easy to understand. Because I will probably get a message from Lauren next saying, tell me about this genie thing. Yeah. And it's going to be like, yeah, do you have, maybe several moments or a day or two? Cause that's how long it's going to take to explain. Same thing with the park reservation system. So, but thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you to everybody who asked questions. If you are out there and you're joining Main Street Magic Community on Facebook, you can hop on over to iTunes or Google or anywhere that you listen. We would absolutely love if you subscribe, but we would love even more if you can leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.